Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, U.S. Immigration News. We hope you're doing great. Well, in today's video, we will be talking about I-765, Application for Employment Authorization. The I-765, Application for Employment Authorization, is a crucial form for non-U.S. citizens who wish to work legally in the United States. Whether you're an immigrant seeking to obtain work authorization while your visa application is pending or a non-immigrant visa holder looking to extend your employment authorization, understanding the I-765 process is essential. This video will walk you through the steps involved in completing the I-765 form, eligibility requirements, and what to expect after submission, ensuring you're well prepared to navigate the complexities of U.S. employment authorization. If you are interested in this, so to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe. And don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Edition date: starting Oct. 280, 2024. We will accept only the 820/824 edition. Until then, you can also use the 4/1/24 edition. You can find the edition date at the bottom of the page on the form and instructions. If you complete and print this form to mail it, make sure that the form edition date and page numbers are visible at the bottom of all pages, and that all pages are from the same form edition. If any of the form's pages are missing or are from a different form edition, we may reject your form edition. We may reject your form. Where to file? The filing address depends on your reason for applying and the eligibility category you entered in question 27. Please check the filing locations for Form I-765 for a list of addresses. When to file your Form I-765. If you're planning to renew your Employment Authorization Document, it's essential to time your application carefully to avoid any lapse in your work authorization. Here's what you need to know. General guidelines for filing Form I-765. For those renewing an existing employment authorization document, you should file Form I-765 no more than 6 months before the expiration date on your current employment authorization document. Filing too early or too late could lead to complications, such as a delay in receiving your new employment authorization document. It's recommended to submit your renewal application at least 90 days before the expiration date to allow sufficient processing time. Keep in mind that the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services generally does not backdate or postdate the renewal employment authorization document to align with the expiration of your current document. Specific filing timelines based on filing category. Different filing categories have specific timelines that you must adhere to when submitting Form I-765. Below is a detailed overview. Category A, 20. You may submit Form I-765 concurrently with Form 918. Supplement A, petition for qualifying family member of U1 recipient, or choose to file it at a later date. Category EC, 3A. If you are a student, you can file Form I-765 up to 90 days before completing one full academic year, as long as your employment period does not begin until after the academic year is completed. Category C, 3B. This category applies to optional practical training for students. File Form I-765 up to 90 days before, but no later than 60 days after your program's end date. Ensure you submit your application within 30 days of your designated school official entering the opt recommendation into your CV's record. Category C, 3. If you are requesting a 24-month STEM opt extension, you may file Form I-765 up to 90 days before your current opt authorization expires. Category C, 6. For those extending or changing their non-immigrant status, file Form I-765 with Form I-20 endorsed by your DSO. and include Form I-539 if applicable. Your application must be submitted no more than 90 days before your program ends date. Category C. 8. If you filed or lodged an I-589 asylum application, you must wait 150 days before applying for an Employment Authorization Document. An additional 30 days is required before USICS can issue your EAD, totaling 180 days from the initial filing. This is known as the 180-day Asylum Employment Authorization Document clock. If you've received a recommended approval notice for asylum, you can apply for an Employment Authorization Document immediately without waiting for 150 days. Category C9. For those adjusting status, file Form I-765 concurrently with Form I-485. Application to register permanent residence or adjust status, if filed separately, include a copy of your I-485 receipt notice. Category C. 10. Applicants for NACARA 203 relief should file Form I-765 together with Form I-880-1. Application for suspension of deportation or special rule cancellation of removal. Category C. 11. File Form I-765 with evidence showing that your parole status is current, has not expired, or is nearing expiration. Category C. 26. If you are the spouse of an H-1B visa holder, you may file Form I-765 concurrently with Form I-530. 9 and your spouse's Form I-129, petition for a non-immigrant worker. Category C. 36. You can submit Form I-765 along with your spouse's or parent's application under Category C. 35. Category C. 37. Form I-765 must be filed together with Form I-955 if you are applying for Kaing Mai long-term resident status. For more detailed instructions specific to your filing category, always refer to the official Form I-765 instructions provided by USICS. Accurate timing is key to ensuring your employment authorization is processed smoothly. So plan accordingly and submit your application within the appropriate window for your category. Filing fee. You can find the filing fee for Form I-765 by visiting our fee schedule page. You can pay the fee with a money order, personal check or cashier's check, or pay by credit card or debit card using Form G-1450. Authorization for credit card transactions. If you pay by check, you must make your check payable to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. When you send a payment, you agree to pay for a government service. Filing fees are final and non-refundable, regardless of any action we take on your application, petition or request, or if you withdraw your request. If you pay by credit card or debit card, you cannot later dispute the payment use. Our fee calculator to help determine your fee. If you are submitting multiple forms, pay each filing fee separately. We are transitioning to electronically processing immigration benefit requests, which requires us to use multiple systems to process your package. We may reject your entire package if you submit a single combined payment for multiple forms. There is no filing fee for the initial, renewal, or replacement form. I-765 filed by current or former service members who were paroled into the United States under the Immigrant Military Members and Veterans Initiative. Please write MV at the top of Form I-765 to obtain the fee exemption and submit documentation that supports current or former military service, such as the Certificate of Release or Discharge from Active Duty, D Form 214, National Guard Report of Separation and Record of Service, NB Form 22 or other official, service or discharge document. Form filing tips. Filing tips. Review our tips for filing forms by mail page for information on how to ensure we will accept your form. Special instructions. Notification. If you want to receive an email and/or a text message that we have accepted your form at a UC's lockbox, complete Form G1145, E. Notification of Application, Addition of Application, Addition Acceptance, and clip it to the first page of your form. Afghan Parolee. If you are an Afghan national paroled into the United States and you are applying for employment authorization, you will need a Social Security number. SIN. To work in the United States, your SIN allows employers to report your earnings to the U.S. government. We encourage you to apply for an SN or replacement SN card using Form I-765 Application for Employment Authorization and following the form instructions. If you do not request an SN in Part 2, Items 14-17 of your Form I-765, you must make an appointment to visit a Social Security Administration office in person to apply for your SN after you receive your Employment Authorization Document. Form I-766. For more information, see Apply for your Social Security number while applying for your work permit. Replacing a card that has incorrect information. If the card we issue to you contains incorrect information that is not due to our error, you must use the filing locations for Form I-765 associated with your eligibility category to submit your form and filing fee. If the card we issued to you contains incorrect information that is due to our error, you do not need to file a new Form I-765 and filing fee. Please check the filing locations for Form I-765 under the heading Replacement for Card Error for instructions. Liberian Refugee Immigration Fairness Applicants. If you are filing Form I-765 as an adjustment of status applicant based on REEF, you should write AEC 9 as your eligibility category in Part 2, Item number 27 on your Form I-765. See our LARF page for more information on adjustment of status based on LARF. Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Requesters. To be considered for DACA, you must submit Form I-820, 1. Consideration of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Form I-765, Application for Employment Authorization. Form I-765 Worksheet, and the correct fees. Note: if you are a current DACA recipient and only need to replace a valid employment authorization document because yours was lost, stolen, or damaged, file Form I-765 Application for Employment Authorization and select Box 1B. Submit the properly completed Form I-765. Evidence that you are a current DACA recipient, such as your most recent DACA recipient, such as your most recent DACA approval notice, and the filing fee to the filing address for the location where you live. Do not file Form I-820 on consideration of deferred action for childhood arrivals with this Form I-765. If you submit Form I-820 on when you are filing to replace a lost, stolen, or damaged employment authorization document, we will deny your Form I-820 1. You petitioners. If you are a principal U non-immigrant petitioner, you are authorized to work based on your status after we approve the underlying petition for U non-immigrant status. We will issue you an employment authorization document. This means you will not need to file Form I-765. If you are a derivative family member residing inside the United States, you are also authorized to work based on your status after we approve the underlying petition for derivative U non-immigrant status. We will not issue you an employment authorization document. This means you will need to file Form I-765. We can only issue employment authorization document for principals and derivatives after we approve the underlying U non-immigrant status petition, regardless of when you file Form I-765. If you live in the U.S., You may receive employment authorization and deferred action if you have a pending bona fide petition and meet certain discretionary standards. We will issue a notice if you need to file a Form I-765 for employment authorization associated with a bona fide determination. If the statutory cap is reached in a fiscal year and we use the waiting list process described at 8 ECR 20-1000, 414D. 2. Petitioners for U non-immigrant status and derivatives in the United States can apply for employment authorization using Form I-765 based on deferred action. We can only approve an application for employment authorization based on deferred action after DIETS has deferred action in your case, regardless of when you file Form I-765. Asylum applicants. Please refer to our asylum page for more information, including information about the effect of applicant cause delays on your Form I-765 adjudication. Employment authorization based on a pending Form I-589 after dismissal or termination of removal proceedings by EWAR. If you have an unexpired employment authorization document that was approved based on a pending Form I-589 before the Executive Office for Immigration Review, EWAR, dismissed or terminated your removal proceedings, it's crucial to understand your next steps to maintain your work authorization. One unexpired employment authorization document based on pending Form I-589. If your employment authorization document remains valid after EWAR dismisses or terminates your removal proceedings, your current employment authorization document will continue to be valid until its expiration date before your employment authorization document expires. You should renew it by submitting the following: evidence of a new asylum application. Submit proof that you filed an updated asylum application on the current version of Form I-589 with USICS after EWAR dismissed or terminated your removal proceedings. Acceptable evidence includes USCIS receipt notice for your new Form I-589, USCIS asylum interview notice, scheduling, rescheduling, or canceling your interview, Form I-797 notice for a biometrics appointment related to your Form I-589. Any other evidence showing that you filed Form I-589 with USICS, additional recommended documentation, proof that your Form I-589 was pending with EWAR at the time of dismissal or termination, such as the Form I-589 receipt notice or other documentary evidence, a copy of the EWAR order of dismissal or termination. If your employment authorization document was issued under the AEC. 8. Category: any renewal application must be accompanied by the appropriate filing fee. 2. Pending Form I-765 for employment authorization document renewal under C. 8. Category: if you filed Form I-765 to renew your ACE 8 EAD based ED and had a pending Form I-589 with EOR before the dismissal or termination of your removal proceedings, USICS may renew your employment authorization document if you provide evidence of a new asylum application. Similar to the requirements above, you must show evidence of filing an updated Form I-589 with USICS after the EOR proceedings ended. Additional documentation: proof that Form I-589 was pending with EWAR at the time of dismissal or termination, a copy of the EWAR order of dismissal or termination. 3. Never granted employment authorization under CEE. 8. And need to apply. If you've never been granted employment authorization under the ECE. 8. Category and EWAR dismissed or terminated your removal proceedings, you may be eligible to file Form I-765 for an initial CEE. Based employment authorization document you should submit evidence of a new asylum application. As previously mentioned, include evidence that you filed Form I-589 with USICS after EWAR dismissed or terminated your removal proceedings. Additional documentation. Proof that your Form I-589 was pending with EWAR at the time of dismissal or termination. A copy of the EWAR order of dismissal or termination. If you are not yet eligible for an initial C-8-based Employment Authorization Document, you will generally continue to accumulate time towards meeting the 180-day asylum. Employment Authorization Document clock requirements when you eventually file Form I-765. Submit all the necessary evidence to demonstrate your eligibility. 4. Renewing an expiring C-8-based Employment Authorization Document. If your C-8-based Employment Authorization Document is about to expire and you are dismissed or terminated your removal proceedings, you should renew it by providing evidence of a new asylum application. Again, submit proof of your updated Form I-589 filing with USCIS. Additional documentation. Proof that Form I-589 was pending with EWAR at the time of dismissal or termination. A copy of the EWAR order of dismissal or termination. Include the appropriate fee with any renewal application under the CE-8 category. 5 Form I-765 denied due to dismissal or termination of proceedings. If USICS denied your Form I-765 because EWAR dismissed or terminated your removal proceedings, you may reapply for or renew your Employment Authorization Document by submitting a new Form I-765 to USICS. Ensure you include the evidence of a new asylum application, proof of filing Form I-589 with USICS after the termination of your proceedings. Additional documentation. Proof of your pending Form I-589 with EWAR at the time of dismissal or termination. A copy of the EWAR order of dismissal or termination. If you are reapplying for or renewing your Employment Authorization Document under the EEC-8 category, ensure you include the appropriate filing fee unless this is your initial application. By adhering to these guidelines and submitting the necessary evidence, you can navigate the process of maintaining or obtaining your employment authorization even after the dismissal or termination of your removal proceedings. Securing employment authorization in the United States through the I-765 form is a significant step toward achieving your professional goals by understanding the application process, eligibility criteria, and potential challenges. You can approach this process with confidence. Remember, timely and accurate submission of the I-765 is crucial to avoid delays or complications as you move forward. Keep track of your application status and be prepared for any follow-up actions with your employment authorization document in hand. You'll be ready to pursue your career aspirations in the U.S. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to channel US Immigration News. We hope you're doing great. Well, in today's video, we'll be talking about I-765 Application for Employment Authorization. I-765 Application for Employment Authorization is essential for non-US citizens who wish to work legally in the US. It is crucial for immigrants waiting for visa application approval and non-immigrant visa holders seeking to extend employment authorization. Understanding the I-765 process is vital for navigating US employment regulations. I-765 application involves several steps including completing the form, meeting eligibility requirements, and submitting it to appropriate address. Specific filing locations depend on the applicant's eligibility category, which is crucial to ensure timely processing. Different filing categories such as those for student or asylum seekers have distinct timelines and requirements for submitting the form. For instance, optional practical training applicants must submit their I-765 application within 30 days of receiving recommendation from their designated school official. Timing is crucial for applicants seeking to renew their Employment Authorization Document (EAD. It is recommended to submit the renewal application at least 90 days before the expiration of current EAD to avoid any lapses in work authorization. Filing too early or too late can result in complications, including delays in receiving the new EAD. For asylum seekers, a mandatory 180 days waiting period applies before the Employment Authorization Document can be issued. The filing fee for Form I-765 varies, and applicants must use separate payments for each form if submitting multiple applications. There is no fee for initial renewal or replacement applications filed by current or former military service members under the Immigrant Military Members and Veteran Initiative (IMMVI). Applicants are advised to follow specific filing tips and instructions to ensure the application is accepted without issues. For instance, ensuring that the form edition date and page numbers are visible on all pages is important to avoid rejections. Additionally, applicants are encouraged to apply for SSN while filing Form I-765 to avoid needing a separate appointment with the Social Security Administration. Proper adherence to these guidelines will help ensure smooth processing of employment authorization applications.